Carry's just not going to feel that good.
All right, well, we are
Game one, game one.
Do have a level 27 Templar Assassin over here on C Smile. So everybody's making their way out to these rooms here.
He plays the hero.
He does indeed.
And that's going to be a mid TA. Most TAs we've been seeing lately are safe lane, so this one will be a little different unless they switch up the lanes. But,
a little surprised that Gabby went for more of the traditional hero, but you can play this at a very high tempo.
They're smoking in.
Whatever else.
They got a ward down.
Yeah, we'll see Whisper. They just get the heck out of there. They know they don't want to fight this.
Whisper knows there's a ward now too, because I assume he saw the CK casting his stun, in which case that means, yeah, there's a ward up there. So we'll see if they get that D ward. T1 pinging all of their own wards. But hey, nobody died. And that was a good chance somebody did. That would have been a stun into an arrow, into an Inkswell. No one lives.
Yeah, there's too much lockdown going on there with what they have currently. It's going to be a scary game for Beastcoast.
Again, Rubik is super instrumental. The telekinesis lift as a solution to Inkswell is an option. But it's a spooky one. Man, they're just, look at this, 4 heroes on 1 bounty. But the crazy thing, actually, is that because of this threat, T1 just gets 3 bounties.
Yep.
Because for all they know, those other 3 heroes are somewhere else. But Stinger did not throw his life away for 1 bounty.
I mean, the mind games have already begun. Let's be really honest. Like, you've got to be feeling... we talked a little bit about this on the pre-show, but, you know, the mentality, right, of going into some of these matches, of trying to, you know, stay focused and making sure that, you know, even if you're, you know, maybe falling a little bit too far behind that you're not happy about, or even if you're ahead, you know, you have to maintain a good mental state. And it's got to be a little scary going up against T1 right now with the history that they do have currently of being at the top of the groups.
It does, yeah. But I don't know. It doesn't seem like something that bothers Beastcoast very much. They've been a squad for forever, together as a squad. So I just kind of feel like they're here for the ride. They're trying hard. They're not always doing extremely well. Sometimes they bomb tournaments a little bit, but they're going to keep at it. And so I feel like there's some resiliency there too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think they're one of the longest squads at this point that have stayed together with the current roster.
They've got to be, because they've been Beastcoast for years at this point. No roster swaps.
Not since, I think the last time they had a roster swap was right after they were on Hamburguesa, I think.
Yeah, that would make sense to me. I feel like that's been this 5 for forever.
Yeah, because I remember they had a Brazilian player. They had Donal at one point. They had, I think they had J Murray at one point. Oh no, it's been a while. It's been a long while. The true Beastcoast fans will remember this.
Yeah.
I'm getting old in my old age. Can't always remember everything. But yeah, you know, they do have some nice combos here. The top lane, either one is fairly scary once they get a couple levels online, right? You're going to have the Inkswell, you're going to have the Reality Rift Chaos Bolt, all that stuff that can, you know, easily kill someone like Gojira. But on the flip side of that too, Gojira, if he gets a good lift off, follow up with a good spear. So a lot of potential here in this top lane to have a lot of kills. And meanwhile, in the bottom lane, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more quiet, it feels like, especially coming out from the side of Beastcoast. But a good arrow with a stun, you do have some nice setup, and that seems to be the way that a lot of these teams are playing against Beastcoast, is they just put as much pressure as possible over onto Ektor.
And so far, I think Chris Smile's done a decent job harassing the Tiny, keeping his HP a little bit low. Helpful for Hector, because then he gets more thirst movement speed, but Carl just outplaying Chris Smile just now. He ends up walking mid, get an avalanche, toss back, so he gets both water runes. So not the best for Chris, but he'll be fine. He gives him time to take a small camp. Since it was not blocked, he's even got a sentry ready just in case.
Yeah, and he did just get his bottle delivered, so he did get a bit of regen. He would have probably liked a little bit more, just have a bit more mana to work with, take a little bit more calculated risks, but not the end of the world here. Carl continues to just whack away over here, throw out a little bit of harass, just pressure C Smile here. It's going to take a tower shot or two. Very nice. They even go up for the fort here. Decent amount of damage.
Yeah, he's done a really good job against him, despite all the harassment he's taken. He's done 2 tossbacks under tower now, I believe. Very useful. He's got to be careful. He wants to kill.
So aggressive. Look at this. Yeah, he definitely wants the avalanche. Needs a little bit more though. He's taking tower shots now, so.
was like 15 mana short.
Oh, okay, all right. There's our first blood. They went pretty far for that, actually, on the side of Beastcoast. TP over here coming out from Gojira. He's got the lift. They're going to punish Carl for being just a little too far forward here. So, very nicely done.
Great call to rotate him in after he had dove tower and stuck around, not waiting for regen. I mean, he didn't have any coming out. He just thought he could get this kill. He went for the avalanche, but without the toss mana, miscalculated there a bit. And no kill, and then also stuck around. So just one of those moments where Carl was feeling it, but he was wrong for once.
But the other thing you have to remember is the fact they do have a Bloodseeker. So if he sits low, if any of these guys sit low. So C-Smile, toss back again. Carl
So
just going to go grab himself that water rune.
And Zephyr moved over to grab the bot one, so he doesn't even get that one in consolation. That's by far the most annoying thing that Carl's been doing is that C-Smile's just being a little too greedy. He should have gone a little earlier, but that toss back just undermines a lot of it.
Zephyr taking the long way around here. They still do have Gojira nearby.
He knows if he lands an arrow, that's a kill.
That is
especially if he has avalanche. Because then he can break his refraction pretty quick.
Yeah, there's not a whole heck of a lot of mana over here on Gojira either, but C-Smile playing it safe. Go farm up. Zephyr's being very patient, though.
He is. It's going to make Cuckoo's laning stage a little bit worse, but it's not like Pugna's going to be able to stop him. Cuckoo's level 5.
There it is. Nicely set up here. Goes, pops off that rune. Toss back. I'm going to do a little bit more here. Try to get some body blocks in against Gojira. Doesn't quite end up being a kill, though, so it's got to be a good feeling here for Beastcoast. Obviously, Gojira sitting very low. Not super fun, but has protected C-Smile, and he is going to make his way back over and give a bottle charge over to Gojira, but again, Zephyr on the move. Scouting out.
He's only level 2. I don't really see him run to get anyone.
Whitemon is just getting chased here by Whisper. Doesn't have those boots. He's gotta try. It does have a spear up. There it is.
Okay, he gets him.
Yeah, the ping's coming out like, guys,
dude,
how was this allowed?
I love this voice line that Whisper does. I watched some of the replays last night of their games, and he uses this one all the time.
What does it mean?
I have no idea. It's like one of those. It sounds like I have no idea what they're saying.
Yeah.
But it's like a vocal thing. It's like they switch the words halfway through, so it kind of sounds like a rhyme or like a saying or something. Chris in the mid lane.
He is indeed. A toss back here underneath the tower. They've got the dust. He is good Decrepify though coming out from Stinger. We'll be able to keep him alive just a little bit longer.
Give the man a rune, please.
There it is. There's that arcane rune that he was hoping for. Gonna pop it immediately. Turn back around. Can they get the kill over onto Carl? They have to be careful though. There's a lot of people. No, he's going to fall. Let's go. Jared TP's in. He's just a little bit too late. One leap charge left over onto Zephyr. I don't think they're going to be able to get the hands on them. Though they turn back around. They have the Inkswell. Stinger needs to be careful here because they have an arrow. They have enough damage. And they'll punish him heavily. I can hear a rupture though over here on the side as they do manage to find Carl, but they need something to cancel out the TP. No, they have just enough in the nick of time.
I was going to make a joke that Bloodseeker is currently 3,000 movement speed because that was there. Everyone was just so low, but nobody was dying. Yeah. And so eventually he's like, screw it, I'm going, dude. He got there quick.
He's a speedy boy with those phase boots as well.
See, it's like backwards.
Yeah,
kind of.
It is a little
I don't know, but
bouncy
it's just,
sounding. Well, I'm sure if you ask nicely, someone will tweet at you.
Or I could just look it up on the internet.
Go ahead, look it up, but we're in the middle of casting a game, sir.
Okay, I won't do it now.
Not right now. No.
I'll just jam out every time I hear it. K1 kind of low. Oh, needs last hits to heal.
Yeah,
the worst
definitely.
Feeling.
Trying to push the envelope. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine Grimstick just wanders by, just throws out a casual stroke of fate, and then we've seen it happen once. It was with a life stealer, but
it is not worth the gamble.
No. A lot of rotation though, top with the arena getting dropped over onto Gabby. They know he's alone. They know that he doesn't have anybody nearby to help him, so they're looking for the kill. Go throw a Decrepify out, a couple more hits, and this should be a dead Gabby. Eventually, they really are making him work for it. Stinger will be able to collect.
Yeah, Whisper wanted it, but you know, it was getting a little bit ridiculous. If somebody rotates in and he gets another heal from Chaos Strike, it would have been pretty bad. Could have been bad. Multiple kills. You never know. But the pressure is continuing on Hector. He TP'd back to the bot lane after healing. In some ways, him going back to heal is perfect. Whitemon rotated. Nothing happened. As a result, Whitemon on top.
Well, there's a silence and an Inkswell coming towards K1. They'll set up with the arrow. Follow up. Breathe fire. Star Storm. One more hit. Zephyr will slay K1.
He looks at his combat log, and there's just stun bars all the way across and nothing he can do there.
Sometimes it be like that.
Yes. So Zephyr is still pretty under-leveled, almost level 5 here. But getting these kills makes a really big difference. Needs the extra levels to make his hero feel relevant. He's going to do some creep arrowing now that he's got Earn and Infuse Raindrops. Lots of mana regen from that. But for now, game's going fine for Beastcoast.
Bit of pincering action over onto Carl. Wasn't sure if they were going to try and make something happen, but they'll just back off. No towers taken so far.
Yeah, a lot of jungling for now. Again, Beastcoast's carry potential is a little bit greedier, so maybe they're going to be a little bit more passive, more farm heavy here, but at the current point in the game, I think T1's happy with how things are going. Cuckoo is sitting at top net worth. He's had a really nice game so far. Treads double bracer soul ring, so tons of regen, armor, tower pressure. Whitemon will sit behind him in case anybody comes.
They do have a ward up here, so they can see K1 just jungling. You can see the movement immediately coming out from the side of Zephyr and Whitemon. They see it happening. Cuckoo will be able to, meanwhile, take down the bottom tower.
And Chris Smile just cleared like a 4-stack of Ancients, so
that feels good.
This is not bad for Beastcoast at all. If they can defend their mid tower.
Gojira, though, arrow landing right on the tail end of it. They'll follow up with a nice Nether Blast, but it's not looking good for Gojira as, oh, the Mirana just leaps to her death. Wow, she's ruptured. Whitemon next to fall. They need to have some sort of a stun to take out, and Carl, they need more damage, and they don't have it.
Not bad. Right place, right time.
Yeah.
Finish your stack, moving over to the mid lane. Hey, there's a fight. Okay, I'll help. Help get a couple kills, and now the tower pressure too. I mean, CK is not going to be down to defend this. He's going to use his ulti top, but yeah, that tower is gone due to that fight. Very good for them, and they're going to get an Invis rune as well. Definitely decent place for Beastcoast to be sitting. Pugna picks up his first 2 points in Netherward at level 4 and 5 there. He eventually skilled it. Skilled it like halfway through the fight. Don't know why he was holding the point, but
you know, for reasons.
Maybe he was considering more decrep because the cast ring goes up for like 400 to 475 or something. But
do we have? No, we don't have Blink Dagger yet. They're just looking to make moves over here on T1. Something they love to do. They like to be very, very aggressive. They're going to send Carl up front. Whitemon, of course, nearby with that Inkswell. And they're going to do a little bit of combing through the jungle here. I can see that that camp just moved. Doesn't look like they want Stinger. They're hoping for something better.
Yeah, Beastcoast just playing very careful. They do not want to get close to anywhere that could get ganked because they realize how powerful T1's pressure is. T1 on the same vein doesn't want to just sit back and farm Tiny slowly because they know that their opponents getting equal net worth is scarier because eventually they're going to have a Bloodseeker and a TA farmed core. So they've got to get kills, and they're going to maybe find Stinger here. No, he gets away.
Just going to focus down this ward here.
Full
Get a
damage.
steal, get the Starstorm from the Mirana for Gojira.
That's not too bad.
They're looking to make a play. Go in, they've got themselves plenty of vision. This Moonlight Shadow not going to be enough as Cuckoo just takes too much damage. He'll fall to Whisper, and they're on the chase too. They would like to grab Carl, like to grab Whitemon. He's got that little piggy pole there, trying to move a little bit faster. Carl would be a great one if they could steal it, and they have the Avalanche, so they'll be able to get themselves a kill, and that means a Blink Dagger for Whisper and immediate purchase of a smoke.
That's a good steal for Gojira there. He's even got the Fairy Trinket, lots of spell amp coming from him. So AoE stun that does 300 damage on a 14-second cooldown. Don't mind if I do. That looks great.
All right, here comes the Blink Dagger. They're on the hunt.
And on the opposite side, that was Tiny dying 1,700 gold towards his Blink. He knows he needs to get kills. He also wants to farm. He went for kills. It didn't work out.
Oh, they know exactly who they want. They want Gabby.
Let's see where they smoke. Oh, they kind of approach perfect time.
So they don't have Arena, but they do have the Blink. They do have the Spear. So jump forward from Whisper, immediately pins him over to the side. Follow up with a nice arrow though to try to protect, but they have the life drain, and Gabby, he just can't really do anything here as they get the listing or gets the kill. Do get the Dragon Tail over onto Whisper. They have to be careful. They are fighting around an outpost, which could be potentially very difficult.
They had this observer board here. That's how they saw him. It was on the medium camp. It's been there a long time, actually. Surprisingly, it is never been dewarded. They didn't take a notice to it, I guess. Maybe focused too much on killing their opponents or trying to run at their opponents than they did farming their jungle efficiently. But great setup, perfect spell usage there. The arrow steal helped elongate that and guaranteed a kill.
Now be some pressure being placed on the tier 1 in the top area here. They do have the arena back up should they decide they want to try to take a fight. Though the Tiny has finished up his own blink deck. Yeah, look at this. They know that Whitemon's nearby. Casual arrow tossed out.
The nether ward's in the way. They see him. That's a cool place to play it because that's a common place to walk through to defend the tower. So now it gives you vision and prevents them from walking. So pretty cheeky play.
That's a huge amount of people in this top area. That's so much space now for Ektor.
Like, Beastcoast is outplaying this game in a large way. Like what I was talking about with the blink on Tiny. If that gank works where they kill Stinger bottom, then okay, he gets his blink faster and then he starts getting kills. But if they just outread their opponents a little bit, like they just might hear with the smoke, it's going to change everything. Smoke's breaking.
Yep, okay, they go. They find Whisper immediately. They go through the Moonlight Shadow. The lift up, though. Big Melt Strike coming out from Seasma. Whisper taking a lot of damage. He is going to fall here. Another toss back and another steal. See Avalanche coming out from Gojira. Will stun up 3 of them. Look at that damage. Again, Life Drain doing a bit. Gabby dragging back over onto Gojira. Cuckoo blinking forward. They should be able to get the kill over onto the Rubik, but there comes the Rupture. Everybody's sitting really low. They'll get the kill on Gabby. They'll get themselves Cuckoo, and they're looking for whoever else they can grab. Aren't going to be able to quite grab Whitemon. Zephyr hiding over in this corner, hoping that they don't see him, and they don't see him just yet. With that courier coming over, they'll be able to see him now, but they're not too interested.
Yeah, it doesn't quite fly directly over him, so he gets out safely. I feel like Pugna's got to be one of the better heroes for this kind of game circumstance. There's just so many spells flying from T1 that if he just gets the ward down, the damage that you're taking is just so much less, 20% less spell damage on his ally. But great initiation there by Cuckoo to get the stun off in time, but it just took them a little bit too much to get Mars, and then they got a little overeager going high ground.
Ektor is maybe a little bit too far no man's land over here. Toss up into the air. It's a dead Bloodseeker. This is looking like it's probably going to be a dead Pugna. Oh no, okay, Gojira joining into the fight now. They don't know who else is on their way. They're just running away from these 2 supports. Like, they expect someone else to show up from Beastcoast, and it is. It's going to be Whisper from downtown. Throws out the spear. Following up with a very nice arena. Should be able to get Zephyr. Carl, is he going to be able to make it in time? Yes, he is. I love this. I actually, you know, I started off in SA Dota, and I love just seeing these wild, just crazy fights. And I think maybe that's one of the reasons why Beastcoast might have T1's number here, because they too come from the wildest pubs around.
It's like, we know what to do. We just got to dodge their aggressiveness, and if we do that, we
Feels
can
like
eventually
home.
take fights in the right places, and then we can get gold advantage with our greedy lineup.
Okay, nice blink forward here coming out from Carl. Toss up into the air with the silence.
still
Phantom's
caught.
Embrace, but they get a steal off here. Turn back around, throw out that Stroke of Fate, but the follow-up here from Cuckoo will ensure that they get the kill. Soulbind will come out over onto Gojira and K1, but they did a Rupture over onto Cuckoo. Almost have enough damage to take out Carl, but they have a stun. So he's going to be able to bottle up, walk away, and could potentially re-engage if necessary.
Still great from him, though. Killing TA. Really
That
well
is very
done.
good.
I get the nether ward as well.
Oh, the blink forward, though. Whisper still in position. Does not have that arena, but the avalanche toss. Cleaning up the Rubik. Stinger forced back.
A little too far forward there. The observer ward happened to be like on the exact place he was standing, and that's why they're so confident going in. I wouldn't be surprised if they deward it later. Yeah, there's the sentry down. They know. It's so hard, though. Stinger.
Look at this. Look at this. The second that they do that, Carl. He's got
Now-
the Inkswell on him. He's ready to blink.
Yeah, they'll be able to get it later. I don't even think he got to... he did see it, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, but...
I've seen it multiple
They'll
times.
just
at
be
this
very...
point.
No, I mean the observer ward that they... After they put the sentry... I think he was close enough at night time, but for now, they'll just wait for their allies to respawn. But great vision for T1 so far. They see, like, every place that Beastcoast wants to stand right now.
The instant smoke as they move their way top. They can see Ektor's in this area. T1 wanting to punish them.
Want to get him before he gets his BKB, and they know exactly where he's going, straight to this camp. It's empty, though! So he's gone!
And he's gone!
If
Just like that.
He probably farmed this earlier, and that's why it's not there. But if it was there, I mean, he still might die.
They even go for the Moonlight Shadow. They're like, oh no, we gotta get this guy. We gotta get him. And it looks like they should be able to.
So much damage, dude. Even if he has BKB, he doesn't survive there. There's no way.
A nice read coming out from the side of T1.
Carl getting things done all right. A lot of burst with Inkswell. A little fighting mid, though.
A little fighting mid indeed as they find Cuckoo. Carl! Oh, Carl, now he's in the arena. It's alone. He just can't seem to get out. He just keeps walking into the walls. He is dead.
I think that was DK going in aggressively. I think he jumped in and stunned and then threw down the fireball because he was across the river there. Maybe he went to defend the Observer Ward that eventually got taken down, and then, yeah, he ends up going over eager. Tiny tries to save him, gets caught in the arena. Just catastrophe now if Beastcoast is able to take Roche with this. I mean, you've got a TA, you should be able to. Bloodseeker's going to be on the way too.
I'm just, yeah. Arrow comes through, does connect over, but
less TA damage.
There's less TA damage, but I don't know. They still don't have. The Dragon Knight's going to be up in a second. So is Carl, but I think it's going to be too late. It's getting close now.
They might be able to contest.
They're trying. They're going in. Another arrow getting tossed out. We'll connect over onto Roche. Gabby with the BKB goes in, but it's still going to be Chris Smiles who picks it up. Sees Mother. They're tethered together. They can't break away. Whisper and this TA. It's like at the last second. No, that is going to be the H popping Whisper also to fall. Get the TA back up again. Get a little bit of a steal. He's going to turn back around with the Phantasm. Goes back in. Oh my God, Gojira, he just absolutely pops here. So they try to get off as much damage as possible to toss back. Oh, they get the kill over onto Ector and over on the back lines. Oh my God, Beastcoast gets wiped by T1.
Gabby barely stays alive in that fight, and that was the crucial moment. Rubik had a great steal with that the fireball from Dragon Knight, and they got him low, but his illusions barely survived after getting hit with Nether Blast. But ultimately, they had to go in. Beastcoast does get the Aegis. There's the fire burn. Whisper was going to die. As a result, he'd use ulti last fight, so he dies. But there's the stone fire. Watch Gabby's HP get really low. The blast comes out. His illusions live. That allow him to one-shot the Rubik, actually stay competitive. But then they recommitted because they're like, I think we can get Gabby. But he got life steal off of the Bloodseeker, kept his HP up, and then it was just a really unfortunate situation for Beastcoast. The game is still even. Aegis is gone, so it'll be a bit of a reset, especially with their mid-tower surviving until the deny. But not exactly how Beastcoast wanted. The arrow on TA legitimately mattered. That was the big damage dealer there in the Roche fight. Less meld strikes, less right clicks, all that stuff.
Looks like T1 are taking over the triangle area now. They did do a scan. They know that they're over in this general area, over on the side of Beastcoast, so they're just going to hug together over in this bottom part of the map. Try to get some of this control back again. And Whisper does have himself a BKB now, so that is a big advantage for the next battle.
Yeah, BKBs are really what Beastcoast needed, but they, after that great fight, they were like, well, we got to take Roche, surely. But they were just a little too slow for it to feel good. If Bloodseeker was also alive in that fight, maybe a support dies instead of him, absolutely they take Roche faster, but just took a little bit too much for them to take it.
And the BKBs are... They're starting to come online. Like we said, we have one over on the on Whisper.
Chaos Knight also has one. Oh,
yeah, and Bloodseeker's going to be having one fairly shortly. But we do get a blink pickup now for Gabby. So these whole initiations, like there's so many ways that they can open this with that Inkswell on top of it. It's just the aggression coming out from T1, really just powerful.
I like the blink a lot on CK this game. It's pretty common for CKs to buy it, but this gives them the ability to ulti and then blink kill Rubik really quick, or Pugna if he does not decrep himself in time. And because Rubik is decent at dealing with the Inkswell follow-up, killing that guy at the start of the fight is big impact for sure.
Smoke up over on the side of T1. You do see Cuckoo in that top lane, but Carl, Gabby, Zephyr, and Wyman.
Can he glimmer in time?
Nope. But I mean, that's the person you want to tank that gank. That's happening. Oh, the courier though. It is empty. So both of these two will be able to make it out, but they do get themselves a little prize, and eventually, yes, Whisper will also make it out. So.
Yeah, definitely the best hero to die there. So that was fine. Even if he starts to press glimmer, I'm sure the fade time he still dies.
I think so, yeah.
A lot of movement to kill the support. It does reroute the cores on the Beastcoast side, but even still, a little bit more farm potential for them as they keeping their net worth in a decent place in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's less than 1k net worth difference, pretty close in terms of the kills on the board. A little bit of a tower advantage, I would say, going over to the side of T1, but...
Once TA gets BKB finished, and she's very close, 300 gold for Chris Small, and then maybe a Blink Dagger, that's where things start getting pretty scary for the support side of T1. Maybe not so much Mirana because you can leap away a bit, but Grimstroke definitely has got to be careful. This is pretty standard for Whitemon. Brown Boots, Max Inkswell with Shard, just so that he can amp up his team as much as possible. But if TA starts targeting him, he's going to die in 2 hits. He's got no item solutions against that.
I'm just thinking about like, oh, then you know all the minus armor, and in my head I just hear you go plate mill.
You should not buy plate mill.
I know.
It is hard on supports to justify armor over stuff like Ghost Scepter, Glimmer
Yeah, I was about to
Force,
say
etc.
Ghost Scepter.
Because your raw HP isn't really that high enough, so it's just better to have these like short windows where you can't die. Those are generally way more valuable on supports.
Is this a game where we should see the shard on TA as well, or is this just so many items that they need to hit at a certain timing?
Silences are not that important against these like tanky strength core people. They're going to have BKBs anyway, so definitely no shard this game. It's all about him doing damage in this match, in my opinion. They do have shard on Rubik, though, so if any Beastcoast heroes get caught, you should expect to see them thrown back, but they're going to go invade the triangle. Maybe not a good time because they're popping Moonlight Shadow.
They did just finish the BKB over on the TA, though, so perhaps they're thinking...
Past sentries. Yeah, that's why they didn't go high ground. He didn't have a sentry, so if he goes in first...
Okay, well, they're still going to jump in here. Cuckoo dropping follow-up with a nice air, but the save. Thrown over here. Buy a bit more time. Oh, God, they just find Gojira over on the side. Now, it's like Beastcoast backing off a little bit, Gabby, considering going in. They're regrouping. Yeah, Cuckoo seeing Whisper again. Decrepify coming into play, but the toss-up into the air. The follow-up. Whisper will fall over on the back lines. Cuckoo taking so much damage. He's just going to fall apart. Now you do have that Soulbind coming into play with C-Smile, with K1. They'll turn their attention over onto Gabby. Blood right over onto the ground. They've got a lot of negative armor. That damage coming out from C-Smile. Can they get enough up in time? Yes, they'll be able to find it. Now Carl chasing after C-Smile. Whitemon trying to teleport away. He's not going to be able to do it either. As Zephyr leaping out. Carl just barely making it.
Tries to toss him, but unfortunately threw Chris Smile and not the Tiny a little bit closer. But holy crap, 4 dead heroes there for Beastcoast. I can't believe it went so well. I guess Rubik bought back is what happened. He got cleaned up instantly after trying to buy more time from Mars. But I think what was crucial is that despite TA being leashed to Bloodseeker, what happens is that TA did not pop BKB. That allowed Bloodseeker to disengage. He popped BKB at the start of the fight. Helped him kill the Dragon Knight, and then Chris Smile was able to BKB and commit to the CK kill without having to worry about any reprisal there. So that was good staggering of their BKBs. One carry, just tag team in.
Yeah.
One carry goes out when his BKB's out, the other one goes back in.
That works, and I mean, you look at the net worth, it keeps bouncing between this Chaos Knight and the Templar Assassin, and now, you know, she's got 10 charges on the Desolator. She's got herself a Blink Dagger coming out. This is the time where T1 needs to start feeling a little bit uncomfortable.
Yes, exactly, because now TA can pick and choose the fights instead of having to worry about getting leashed to his other core.
Whisper ran back in there. All right.
Rough one.
Yeah, maybe a misclick on the map or something, but I was a little surprised.
Did see a shard get killed during that fight. I think it was Gabby's, this Chaos Knight, so would have given him a little bit more damage with Chaos Strike, but yeah, Whisper's dying a bit. It does kind of look like a great status resistance game or dispel game, I gotta say. Maybe Aeon Disc looks incredible here. But for now, he's just gonna have to live with his BKB. It's a great item, clearly, but you gotta be able to pick and choose your fights. Courier on Bloodseeker probably gets sniped here.
Let's say, ooh.
He did not linger. He was paying attention. And he's flying trees now.
He knows something's up.
That's a good one. He doesn't have Lincoln's finish, but it's close. So the Void Spirit will definitely help his mana regen.
What did we just... I just saw an item picked up. Where was it? Was it Carl who picked it up?
Is it the plate mail and Zephyr?
Oh my god.
I don't think it was. Now Carl looking like standard Echo Saber Blink
The BKB. Stuff. It was the BKB picked up on Dragon Knight. That's what I saw.
Yeah, you're probably right. That did just come out. He's been working on it a while. He's got good net worth in the meantime, though. Cuckoo not afraid to hit creeps.
Right, gonna go right, and again, there's that BKB like we talked about. Nice Soulbind over into the middle of all of this damage. Whisper is gonna be the first one to fall. C-Smile now is gonna get tossed into the air. It's just a fast hit and run. They see Stinger over here. They're gonna turn their attention. Should be able to take down this little Pugna, no problem.
They didn't check his items. He gets the BKB, but they initiate on him without the guaranteed stun. They both jumped in the instant response from Whitemon. Latches both of them. TA got so chain stunned. They got linked. They got double DK stunned as a result. And then the arrow must have hit him. And then when that was done, or it was Inkswell, I don't know. He was stunned so long. And finally, when he's about to BKB, it's Avatos. So once again, T1 finding a great fight, no matter how bad things look. Not that it's that bad. And they just kind of blow up in the game again.
Well, they do. They have to heal up again. They dropped the Blood Right, and they did steal the Avalanche, so they'll be able to push them off of the tower.
I do like the Cloak of Flames on Bloodseeker. That'll be fun.
Oh, yeah.
A little resistance for the guy.
Lord knows they need it.
Yep. And with the Lincolns now, he can better run in and not have to worry about something like Grim ulti instantly latching him to an ally. He can stop stuns, either Dragonite stun or CK. I think it's a pretty solid Lincoln's game if he's going to be the guy running in aggressively. I like it.
Oh, Whisper walks right into Kook. Oh, okay. Have the vision. They went for the BKB, and Kook is just going to teleport out. So, a little bit of an awkward moment there for Beastcoast.
See if Bloodseeker queues up Basher. He does. There it is.
There it is.
Did you catch it in time? He had Mjolnir ready to go, and I was like, all right. When that happens, your brain goes, should I buy Basher? And he thought about it for 4 seconds. Like, yes, I need a Basher. We can't let this happen again. We use Rupture, and he just gets away.
They're grouping up like they're thinking about smoking again over on the side of T1. There is a trap that Zephyr has to remove. Easy peasy.
Whisper again is going to be the front line. Such good vision here, but he's sitting behind the tree. Okay, he shows now. They might go.
Yeah, there's going to be the jump forward, that fireball over on the ground. They just so much lockdown. Whisper just can't do anything when he is getting attacked like that. Very nicely done from T1.
Tried to telekinesis throw him back too, but I think the Reality Rift interrupted it, so.
Might have been. I'm surprised that they're still spending so much time over here. It's a bit spooky. No buyback, of course, over on the Mars.
It's all about Roche contest here. It's up in 14 seconds after a pretty long respawn.
Yeah, Cuckoo jumping forward, blinking again. Doesn't see anyone. I have to say, Whitemon has been very, very impressive with a lot of these soulbinds that he's getting.
Yeah.
Just limiting the amount of movement that they're able to do in these fights is doing so much.
All right, Roche is up. They see it. Will they go straight for it? No, doesn't look like it. They did see it, right?
Yeah.
They did see it, okay.
And I think it's so easy for them to get a pick off with what they have going on with their heroes and their spells. They might as well try to get a pick off first before running in.
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, it would have been a little dangerous, I suppose, to force it. They do the safe thing. Now they're sitting all mid. Cuckoo going to do the safe push as well. Does not want to cross the river. Way too easy for them to jump and force him into a fight that he doesn't want. Chain stun. But in the meantime, CHRISMAL going to go push out the safe lane as he continues to pick up his net worth. He's still doing very well. Still a huge threat.
All I can give us.
And here comes the fight.
Blink forward again, Cuckoo going in. All right, Whisper, though, does get safe this time around. They do get the Soulbind out, and they'll get a nice arena. So they do get the multiple stuns off. They're going to back off, so they end up being able to take down Whitemon. Whisper just barely going to be able to run away. Look at that damage coming out. There it is. They'll be able to take down Zephyr. They take down Carl. They turn their attention over onto Cuckoo, is over onto the back lines. They're chasing after Gabby. Gabby, he's not taking too much damage. He will end up falling as now Cuckoo. He is the last man standing. He's going to blink up over to the top area. They have the blink on T-Small, but they just don't manage to go and grab him in time. 4 dead on the side of T1. This opens the doors for Roshan as CHRISMAL just gets right on in there and says, yeah, let's go, boys.
That fight went so good for Beastcoast, and it was all the Rubik lift. It paid off so hard in that fight. He didn't just throw him towards his team. He's like, I'm going to throw you across this cliff with trees in the middle. And that disjointed things enough to get Whisper's BKB off. And then he had that monster ulti. There's a lot of shit in that fight, but he still dropped his ult, and he speared both supports to a wall and double God's Rebuke them, and then he disengaged without dying afterwards. I could not believe that nobody in Beastcoast was dead during that fight after that initiation. I just thought, I was like, here it comes again.
I thought for sure Whisper was toast again, but that was a good save. Being able to toss him where he was.
Absolutely crucial. And then the cores on the Beastcoast side got to do what they wanted to do. I'm sure Bloodseeker runs in there, TA runs in there, and they just make heroes die.
Yep. A couple pings out over here onto this Templar Assassin. Have that Aegis online. Have a haste rune bottled up. So as long as he doesn't get latched together, have a lot of freedom to move around in these fights.
He did end up taking the shard on TA.
Okay.
Probably the Roche one. And as a result, now he gets the silence. So max silence 3.5. Still very good against the supports. The min silence 1.5. Still not too bad, I suppose, if you can hit him. Very good against Mirana, actually. That's the one hero it's excellent against. He does not have an item solution to protect against silence. So if he wants to jump that backline, even a second and a half, drop a trap, pop it, jump directly on Mirana, you can kill him in like hits.
I mean, also
maybe
you have to
4.
keep in mind like how instrumental these soulbinds and the inkswells have been, right, coming up from Whitemon. So if you start to get into a fight and you have the vision on him, because he's always going to be trying to sit onto the back line, you can pop a trap, get the silence, and all of a sudden you don't have those spells that you've been relying on.
That's exactly true. In a lot of cases, T1 is positioned where them getting backlined initially is almost impossible, because you're only ever going to see the frontliners first, so it makes going in so much harder. But in these engagements, after they've engaged, if Beast Coast can weather the storm of that initial stun Inkswell combo, yeah, TA is going to shred some supports.
Do you have a completed Shiva's guard now for Zephyr? Got a little bit more armor to deal with things here. A bit of that slow too will also be nice.
They are going Lincolns on Mars as well. They realize the threat of the T1 draft. It is all the stun
Jump
into
in
swell.
initiation, yeah.
So all he needs is to buy enough time for himself to react to Lincoln's being broken and then pop BKB before he gets stunned. Cuckoo's ahead of this. He's already got Heaven's Halberd. He's ready to break the Lincolns, but it's still going to take a tiny, larger amount of time for him to get that stun off than normal.
That and if Gojira is in the right position there, being able to just pick them up and move them, get them out of harm's way, that little bit of time might be enough to save them on the side of Beast Coast.
Yeah, it might.
To get a heart completed though now. Gabby going to join up with the rest of the team. They're going for another smoke play. They're smoking into this Aegis. But it's going to feel a little suspicious when you have all these creeps hitting towers and no one's showing up to deal with them.
It will. But both teams, it's like one of those
Look at
moments
the way
where
that Beast Coast is sitting right now.
they're both afraid. Like, that arrow that T1 just made was like to scout high ground as they approach their tri-camp. Like, they thought Beast Coast might be in their tri-camp. And Beast Coast is like, well, we don't know where they are either, so they're also sitting in their tri-camp because they know the next fight is big.
They have a gem actually online here from Mars.
And they're going to sit Chris Smile in the front because he's like, well, I'm Aegis, obviously. I want to get engaged on first, but...
Plus they have the completed Silver Edge.
They actually did use Cuckoo's ult to use during that smoke, actually.
Okay.
So if they can spot this, and they should be able to see it, he's walked over traps now. They know he used ult. I don't know if they saw his duration left, but this would be a great time to fight once that runs out.
Yeah, they're pincering in here. Chris leading the charge. Big melt strike. All right, he's fine with them being attacked. Absolutely fine with this right now. The Aegis will go down. Whisper trying to get his position now. Manages to go and grab themselves. Cuckoo has that BKB. Chris making his way back over to the other side because he can see Gabby trying to fight here with K1, but they have the Lincolns, they have the life to try to keep him alive, so he's going to be able to teleport away. What's going on here, Wispy?
Hit the back line.
Wispy's going all the way into the base here. All right, you may have gone a little bit too far here, friend.
Yeah. He messed up. Brought the gem to the back line. He basically jumped in. He ulties the DK. He's not going to throw the stun because DK is going to dodge it.
Yeah.
So instead, he's like, well, I'm going to leave you here, and I'm going to go kill that. Gonna go kill the Grimstroke. He went high ground. He God's rebuked him. He missed his stun, and as a result, he stayed a little bit longer than he wanted to. He had to right-click then like 2 or 3 times to finish him, and as a result, that's why he died. He missed that spear a little bit, made him stay longer to get the kill. So not able. He also needed to run away from his team anyways because he got Grim ultied. If he runs to his team, they get soulbind. The fight gets a lot more chaotic.
That's true.
So they lose the support. They lose the gem. The gem's the toughest part here, I think.
I'm sure there's a support grumbling right now like, oh my god, that was so much gold. Do you know how long it took for me to save that up?
Every time the gem dies, people near me are like, oh no, that's gem.
But currently the 2 cores of Beast Coast sitting top of net worth. 23k on TA, 20 on the Bloodseeker. The T1 realizing they have this opening right now are going to put some pressure on the bottom tower, and there was a little bit of a fight breaking out mid, but
that's Cuckoo trying to scare his opponents is what he's doing.
Yeah.
He knows they have 2 dead heroes. They're not going to fight. So if he just jumps in and combos somebody, they might overreact, press BKB, stuff like that. So he's going to be a little bit obnoxious. He could also protect himself with Halberd. It's doubtful TA would BKB for that. So now they're all alive and back on the map. 6k, 5k gold advantage for Beast Coast still.
Tier 4 neutral items are up too, so it looks like T1's going to back off and just farm those up.
Interesting. Witchbane on the Chaos Knight. It's not that bad. 20 attack speed. Mana costs, or the mana pools of the Radiant heroes are not that strong though, so he just really wants to Dispel in case he gets
Whisper.
decrept or something.
Considering going forward, finds the opening. Moonlight Shadow gets into play. They use Dust. They also have a Sentry Ward, so they're just trying to blow up Carl, and it looks like they're going to be able to do it. So cut through him. They did use the Soul Bind, but it's going to be fine.
I mean, at first I thought, oh, that's going to be bad. He's just going to BKB. Then I click, he doesn't have BKB on Tiny. So if that's the case, you cannot be the guy frontlining. This is one of the few rare mistakes I feel like we've seen T1 make. In terms of, like, game positioning, that should have been DK hitting that. Maybe Chaos Knight hitting that creep wave, not Tiny. Because as soon as he gets Mars ulted, he's caught.
Yeah.
Maybe it was also his blink out interrupted or something, but
I mean, it's usually the DK who's the one who jumps into the forefront there. That one was just probably, he was relaxing, didn't think that he was going to get jumped on.
Yep.
These things happen.
Moment of weakness. It
They
happens
can
at
be
T1 as
costly.
well. Yeah, I mean, 7K gold advantage for Beastcoast. T1 can still win. They're a great team. They're good at playing from behind.
Do have the Lincoln Sphere completed now for Chryslux. They have a lot of solutions now. They realize, okay, how are these guys going to jump on us? How are they going to lock us down and get these initiations? They're going to use, you know, something. Whether it's a stun, it's a halberd. We will have the Lincolns. We'll be prepared for them, and then we will turn our fury upon them.
Got a Trickster Cloak picked up, rate neutral item in a lot of cases. That evasion against CK, probably not going to matter for the supports, but going invis certainly could. Who's going to end up on? Not sure. They actually send it back
They're
well.
carrying Dust.
They just did not want the Trickster Cloak, surprisingly.
Casual arrow tossed out. Just getting a little bit of vision.
They don't like many of their neutrals, but they do have what? Cloak of Flames is excellent. Spider Legs is excellent. Blast Rig on Rubik is great too. That way when he gets Reality Rift, the first CK that hits him, it's going to proc it and disarm the other ones for 2 seconds. That's a perfect
That is
item
actually
this game.
great, yeah.
So good against the CK.
Nice flicker as well. All right. It's going to be 40 seconds until Roshan respawns now.
I like that Gujiro's also just sitting invis with the Shadow Element for now. It's a good thing to do, because if they ever spot him, they're always going to target him first.
He's got Soulbind too. That is a great spell for him to steal here.
Double Fade Bolt. Double Telekinesis.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of. Not limiting the mobility of some of these heroes that like to be dodging in and out. All right, double damage over on the Tia. They'll go with the Fortify it.
Dealing with the illusions pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
Not too bad, the power of TA. It's very slow, having no boots at this point, but his attack range is great. Leveler helps a lot also. DD is amazing, obviously. Gabby's going to get some pushing done back on the other side of the map. Yep, Roche is alive. And there is an Ags in it.
Ooh, who's getting the Ags?
Probably not
Bloodseeker?
Bloodseeker.
No?
No, God knows. TA's is pretty good. It is definitely not going to be Pugna's. That one is terrible. It's been
I mean,
bad
it could
for a long time.
be a Rubik, could be Whisper.
They will give it to Rubik.
I mean,
The double steal. It's really good on him, I think.
Yeah.
The TA one is solid. It would allow him to like counter split push a lot, but it's gonna make Rubik so much more survivable, frankly. Does not get the stats from it. I think you get part of them, actually, right? I don't remember. Let me read.
Scotty's completed now for Gabby. They're going to go for a little bit of a smoke movement into this bottom half of the jungle. This moving into an Aegis and Cheese.
No stats from X Blessing. But he can steal more spells.
See? Okay. All right. There it is. There's the Lincolns that we talked about. The BKB getting popped. Cuckoo, he's getting sliced into pieces here, so he's going to have to teleport away.
Where's the Basher? He didn't buy it. He again queues it up after his refresher. It's like, oh, sorry, guys. It's coming. 6,000 more gold. He did need to buy Lincolns, though. The Manta's a little interesting, but kind of makes sense. If you are one-on-one with the guy and your BKB's running out, being able to Manta is going to help a lot. And you can push out creep waves, too, with Mjolnir buff and
What's
illusion.
happening here?
They're fishing.
Well, they caught themselves a Gojira, but yeah, that's not who they want. They didn't realize, I think, that everybody was still nearby.
They did that for vision reasons, is why Zephyr arrowed. And they knew they weren't going to catch him, so like,
Well,
no.
they kept someone else down there, though, perhaps.
Yeah. If they just saw like one hero, they could go for a kill, but yeah.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
They saw at least two, so yep. They
All
knew
right.
it's a death push.
Here we go. We've got the Aegis online. Arrow will connect over onto C-Smile. Not too concerned. There's going to be a rupture.
That
And,
was cool.
ooh, Zephyr. The little bunny hop there, taking a lot of the light. The big melt strike coming out with the soul bind stolen from the Rubik. They get the kill Whisper to turn back around. Another Soulbind coming into play, but Whisper drops the arena, separating everybody here. They'll get the kill onto Stinger. They had a buyback now coming out from the Marana. Up comes Chris Smiles again. He's gonna need a little bit of help here as Gabby getting over to the corner. They don't have anything to really cancel out. Yeah, he's gonna be able to make it out safe and sound. Whisper, though, not looking like he's gonna be quite as lucky as Gojira, also full. So perhaps a little over-eager here because this tower definitely still standing, and that's another gem that just got lost.
Yeah, they dove really far there, and it looked fine. I'm thinking, once again, I was like, how does Tiny not have BKB yet? But he tanked that one totally fine. The status resistance, the 3,400 HP, all this armor, he keeps up through it. There was one buyback, that was Zephyr the Marana, but it took a lot to kill him. And at that point, they'd overcommitted. Gabby was able to deal with Pugna on the back line, or the front line, I suppose. The back line. He dealt with Pugna in the meantime, so put him in a good state.
We have an overwhelming blink completed for Cuckoo, too. Just notice that.
Good item.
Very good item.
He's got 4,860 HP. Holy crap. And he went for the double Dragon Blood or the plus 12 HP regen, so, and armor. So lots of armor, lots of health.
Another Rupture being used over onto Gabby.
He's trying to buy time.
Yeah.
Although he's got no Ruptures now. That part's kind of weird.
Stinger, they have the arrow, they know exactly where he is, so they'll end up losing the Pugna.
No buyback. That was weird.
No buyback. Rubik is going to be up in a moment. Mars does have buyback. They're probably going to end up losing this tower and maybe a set of racks. Good stolen avalanche, though. Slows them down just a little bit. We'll clear up.
Lots of things to steal right now for Rubik, at least.
Yeah, that's true.
Watch out for that Rubik Phantasm.
A gaggle of Rubiks.
Oh man, he would love to steal Inkswell. Holy cow, that would be Rubik's dream.
That'd be the perfect thing, yeah.
Especially now with double spells, it's you can like have the Inkswell in the pocket and then have some other spell on top of it.
All right, Purge. Carl has finally decided it's time. He is getting that BKB sent out to him.
Okay, he
it's
actually
coming
has
out to him.
All right, definitely needed this. But I guess he was maybe a little bit worried about their damage potential outside of CK if he went BKB so early.
That's possible. Still feeling like a very tight game despite having that little bit of the net worth advantage over on the side of East Coast.
It is.
This all comes down to who gets the jump on who, it feels. Fresh Orb is completed now for Bloodseeker. Now have all the Ruptures.
4 whole Ruptures.
Gonna hold everybody in place.
They do 20% of your, I assume, max health? I don't know if it's current. I think it's max. 20% of their max health. So that's like a 800 pure damage nuke against Tiny before he even starts moving. Very good against CK. CK's got 5k HP. 5.5. Holy crap. With Armlet on.
These are some big boys.
Talk about good game for percentage-based damage with the Rupture.
This would be a great game for Burb.
Or Spirit Vessel.
Sunray.
But no Spirit Vessel. They need more defensive items on Rubik. They can't afford to buy this game. Makes sense. All about staying alive, chain stunning potentially.
Double damage round. They're hoping maybe. Yeah, look at this. There's a ping.
He wanted it.
Oh, yeah.
But Gem on Cuckoo spots him out.
Whisper just pushing out these waves here. Trying to get some information, trying to get them to draw back, and they will come back to deal with all of it.
Yeah, this is actually a good little chip in. Like, the tower's not going to take a huge amount of damage, but when it's this low, yeah, 200 is still pretty significant. Carl ran straight for that one. Defends it. Whisper again goes to the dangerous lane. He's the one that wants to be in the front. Yeah, look at that. Gabby was ready, dude. His ulti was already used. If he saw a hero, that person gets jumped on, but it would have been a little tough on Whisper again because the Lincolns.
Ooh, Rupture over onto Carl. Goes drops the blood right. I'll give a bit of a chase, but the BKB comes out from Carl.
Basher, no.
Where's the Basher, bro?
It's queued up, dude. It's been queued up for 20 minutes. He knows he wants it.
Yeah,
I don't blame him for getting... I think he's made the right itemization. The only item maybe I can criticize is the Manta.
Okay.
Over the Basher, but he wanted it to push out lanes, you know, dodge silences or whatever. I get it. He did sell his boots, by the way. He's like, all right, I don't yet have the Basher, but I have the Mithril Hammer part of the Basher. So
okay.
Kind of wacky, but I wonder if he's gonna take spider legs from his opponent or from Whisper. Doesn't look like it though.
Yo, bro, give me the spider legs. No.
Yeah, they just don't like those other tier 4 items.
I guess.
Bloodseeker is super into the Cloak of Flames. I don't know if that's needed. Maybe Trickster Cloak is straight up better. Like, he's got a Mjolnir. Does he really need the burn? Yeah, I was going to say. You really didn't need the Cloak of Flames. It's fine. But surely Trickster Cloak is just straight up better. Instead, he's going to go Flicker for movement speed. That makes sense.
All right. A lot of items just picked up here. We have the Wraith Pact completed now over on Mirana. And Nullifier over on Gabby. Satanic over on Dragon Knight. T1 is stacked right now.
Yeah, he's relying on these Bloodseeker illusions to help push out lanes. What's his goal? So he doesn't get spotted and get initiated on. Definitely safer than other options in the Basher. The Basher's here.
The Basher's here. All right. Now's the time. Ooh. That grazed his butt cheek there. All right. You can tell that Beastcoast, they're staying over on the high ground. Trying to protect themselves. Scotty is completed now for the TA. They have to go home, though. They've got to go deal with this.
Nice thing about taking that mid tower, it's easier to spread your opponents away from these side Braxes. They take the tower. That is CK ulti. So less likely that T1's going to want to fight now.
Oh, they go for the smoke immediately.
They got to catch somebody.
Blinking forward. They got to grab him. Yeah, that is the case here. Do see Cuckoo, I think. Carl. Okay, there it is. There's an opening right into the arena. Big rupture. That's enough to take out Carl. Gabby over the back line. So is fighting with Stinger. K1 and Seasmile immediately recognizing this. We'll turn back around to get the kill on Gabby as the arena gets dropped here from Whisper. They're going to try to go and grab. Oh, Zephyr, though. He's going to run into that arrow. And it does. Oh, my goodness.
Great force.
3 dead on the side of T1.
And they knew it was time to go. CK ulti got used. The tier 3 tower was dead, but getting the illusions back into the fight was going to be harder. What was crucial is that Rubik lifted the Tiny at the same time that the Mars arena went down. That meant that the spear gets to connect, and they got to blow Tiny up pretty quick in that fight without pressing BKB. If he presses BKB after the Mars ulti, T1 just runs away, disengages completely, most likely. But they catch him, and as a result, get to force extra kills because the other T1 players tried to fight.
Yeah, Gojira actually stealing that Sacred Arrow was actually what ended up smacking Mirana over there. And then also the Fireball. He's got the Fireball.
That's 2 good spells.
That is a great spell.
He's doing a lot of damage per second with Arcane Supremacy. Close to 100. It's like a macro pyre.
They've got the split going on here. You've got Ektor in the bottom lane hitting the tower. A little bit of damage over there.
If he gets in blink range of somebody, he's going to blink, lift, throw him into an arrow. For now, just the green arrow.
They're just chopping through these buildings. This is going to be a tower and 2 racks, it looks like. Look at the damage. My God.
It is actually incredibly fast. Are they just going to end this and force buybacks?
No.
I meant not end this. I meant like mega creep potentially. Sorry, but that was impressive. They got 2 racks out of that fight. They've been waiting to do that all game, though.
I mean, this could be a very big victory underneath their belt if they manage to do this. This is the one team that has been undefeated in this particular group, and also
Roche is up.
Yeah.
And it's got an Ags and a refresher and a cheese.
Who's getting the goodie bag? All right, who's getting this Ags? Hugna?
No. Yeah, I was like, TA's probably it. That's the one. That was the alternative last fight. Yeah, I don't think Bloodseeker still wants to gamble with it. If you build around it with like magic resistance, it definitely can work.
Yeah.
Because then you take way less damage than you're dealing, but it's just not worth utilizing. It's just more important for him to go to traditional carry stuff and not trying to mess up his playstyle with like some slight value add that's gonna make him make mistakes, I feel like.
25k net worth lead currently going for Beastcoast. The onslaught is approaching to this top area, this last tower here for the tier 3s that they need to protect. Carl already in position. Jira trying to get into nice thing. All right, there's an immediate find over on the both of the supports. Very nicely done. Double kill. I see Smalzo going forward. They're going to buy back. And there's the soul bind. Carl's just taking too much damage. He will indeed fall. Whisper with a beautiful arena over here is going to try. Oh, look at Cuckoo. He's just absolutely melting the supports over on the back lines as well. Will also fall. Cuckoo goes down. All of these arenas. Look at this buybacks coming out in mass. They finally get to jump back over here on the ground. Oh my word.
What a grab from Tiny, but Whisper's combos are just shredding the backline every single time. Just puts Grimstroke in the arena and says, you're dead now. I'm cleaning you up. And Chris Smiles just right-clicking the whole fight too. That's Megas.
That is indeed Megas, and they're looking for more. Spear will connect over onto Gabby. Question is, do they want to go super hard on this? They do have the Aegis to lift up over onto Carl. C-Smile, though, is taking so much damage. All right, that's going to be the Aegis. Soulbind will connect over onto Whisper and Gojira. Follow up with the Chaos Bolt. They need a little bit more damage over onto Gabby. The toss up into the air, the Melt Strike. They're turning back around. Gabby, he's just getting smacked in. The T-Fist is not looking good here for T1. They tried to toss him back, tried to keep him alive, but the Melt Strike follows him, and they'll get the kill. Following up now, Carl with a nice avalanche. They're going to go right back in. They bought back. They can get the kill on the TA. That's going to be a big deal for them if they're able to do it, as Whisper is forced to teleport away. Lot of buybacks coming out en masse for T1. They do manage to just keep themselves in the game a little bit longer, but it's looking grim.
Yes, a lot of buybacks means next fight, if it goes bad for T1, the game ends. So they hold for now, but against Megas, it's not going to be a long hold likely. They can keep creeps out of the base, but it's going to give Beastcoast so many more advantages in terms of finding pickoffs. But they're trying their best. But right now, I just can't help but think that Whisper just keeps grabbing the amazing ultimates. He just nails the supports every single time. When Grimstroke's out of the fight, it just feels like TA's out carrying. He just BKBs and he right-clicks and he eventually beats the Tiny. He's got Scotty now as well. Makes Tiny slower, lower attack speed, helps offset his DPS.
I mean, there are a lot of people that would argue and say that Whisper is one of the best players in South America at this point.
I think he's extremely well respected in every region.
That too.
His overall skill level, but he's been playing really good this game.
Absolutely. So they do push it all the way out here in the mid lane on the side of T1, but Phantasm, they're looking for the opening, but there is none. Not yet.
I don't know whose illusion that was, but it's really dead.
Real dead. Maybe a Bloodseeker. Maybe he popped the Manta.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I checked Rubik first. I was like, what weird spells does he have? Was it him? Yeah, Bloodseeker has 8,000 gold. He's close to being able to afford Ags if he wants. It reads from the tooltip that it does a percentage-based HP cost and damage. Hypothetically, could be good. Help clear out these super tanky heroes. The Chaos Knight, 7% per second. That's 70 damage times 5. That's 350 damage per second against Chaos Knight himself, and against his illusions, that's going to be increased by 3. So it would shred his illusions if he wants to use it as that kind of a tool. But I have a feeling Hector's just going to sit on this net worth and eat a moon shard, and not much else will change. Maybe a 6th item or 7th item to replace BKB after he uses it.
That's possible.
What would you? Maybe Silver
They were thinking about Whisper. They thought about it. Look at it. Oh. So it's feeling very tense now for the side of T1. They have not been put against the ropes like this to this extent yet this tournament.
They have not. Cuckoo pops his ultimate, slow things down a bit.
Whisper crawling over. Okay, there's an opening here over onto Whisper to get the Soulbind. They'll go immediately with the refresh. Whisper is going to have to buy back. The hit over onto Carl. Turning their attention over onto Gabby. This is a split by Gojira. He's taking so much damage. He is going to be the next one to fall. See Smell over on the back line. Hector, he's trying to fight through. There's going to be the toss up into there. Carl gets himself a double kill. And it's looking like they might have to back off Stinger. He came back, but the Whisper!
Oh my
look
God.
at the arenas! Look at the circles! They're just obliterating over here. The damage coming out from C-Smell, cutting through everyone. The playback over to Hector and Stinger. He's somehow still alive during all this. Cuckoo taking so much damage. Whisper just blocking everything. Oh my God, that is a dead Dragon Knight. Look at this ancient area. I believe the South Americans was like Tio Pio here. Coming out from Beastcoast. Gabby though jumping back in. He wants Stinger. He's gonna get pinned to his own tower though. Hector, he's just cutting through Gabby. They're just going to town on T1. The GG gets called. Beastcoast, the first team to take a game off of T1.
And not the one we expected, but Beastcoast, what a game from them. Kind of an interesting draft. They're like, all right, screw it. We're going to play TA and a traditional carry.